So there was a Pokemon Presents last week, and you might have noticed that I didn't make a video on it. And it wasn't because I had nothing to say or didn't want to talk about it. I'm super excited for Pokemon ZA, but something came up, and that something is called the fall of Melvalon Creek and Helldivers 2, which obviously is not anything Nintendo related, but I am super obsessed with Helldivers and kind of took some time off to go play that and just no-lifed it. So this is going to kind of reprimand the No Pokemon Presents video, but what happened though is that this past Thursday I was on the Pixelmen podcast, and we did talk about the Pokemon Presents and just mostly that Pokemon ZA and the trading card game and everything that got announced. So I have that clip here, and I've gotten permission from Richard to use it. So what's going to happen is I'm going to just kind of put our discussion for the Pokemon Presents in this video so we can go over it. You're going to notice that the audio sounds a little bit different. I was at a park whenever they asked me to be on the show. So I had to record it in a completely different environment than using a studio microphone. But anyway, it was a really good conversation. I think you guys should hear it. So make sure you stay tuned for that. If you want to see more about Pokemon ZA, though, I will be making more videos in the future. It's just, right now, there's just nothing really to go on for it. So as soon as we get more information, of course, I'll make another video. So anyway, please enjoy this clip from the Pixelmen podcast, and make sure that you actually go watch this full episode or listen to it. We had a lot of really good discussions about what's happening in the gaming industry with all the layoffs and corporate profits and all that jazz, if that's something you're interested in, and some other stuff. So anyway, check that out, check this out, and don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you soon with more Nintendo news.
Mitch, you started something new with Nintendo. What's the name of your channel?
Oh my gosh, we're plugging. So I started a new channel called That Nintendo Show. I just started about 2 weeks ago. Yeah. It's pretty much just centralized on Nintendo news. I'm going to be doing reviews and unboxings and stuff. You know, it's the Switch 2. When I started the channel, was supposedly coming out later this year, with March being the time frame we were going to get an announcement. So what time better to start a new channel than the upcoming of a next generation system? Now looks like it's not going to get unveiled until sometime in the summer and not get released until next March. So still got some time to cook with some stuff. We might have just gotten one of our first Switch 2 game announcements a few days ago, so there's stuff to talk about there. But I'm just really excited. I've been a big Nintendo guy for forever, so I'm really looking forward to just putting like my heart and soul into a new channel and get that up and going. Because up until rejoining you guys on this show, I've kind of taken almost like a complete year off of making content, which has been nice. It's been like Thanos sitting over the sunset, you know. But like, it's time to get back into it. It's time to get back into it. And, you know, I really love making content for YouTube. I was going to school for film and stuff and video productions and stuff like that before I left school. But, you know, this is just something I've always loved doing. So I'm just excited to get back into the swing with things.
Awesome. And that's That Nintendo Show?
Yep. YouTube.com/@ That Nintendo Show. You'll see a really cool banner at the top if you go to the right channel. So
awesome. So did you do anything with I'm going to admit, I did not watch the Pokemon thing last week.
So I have not made a video. I have not made a video about the Pokemon Presents, mostly because there was the trailer for Pokemon ZA. Very excited for it. That game, but I haven't made a video about it yet because I'm trying to figure out how I want to talk about it and how it relates to Switch 2, just because all we got was like a CG trailer. There's no gameplay, which I think that's why they didn't show gameplay. Excuse me, is because they're saving it for like a Switch 2 reveal because of how different the graphics are going to be, even though I do think it's going to be a game that releases on both systems. But I've spent my time off this week defending Space Vietnam instead of making making Nintendo content. And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about Helldivers 2. The humans have lost Melvalon Creek, which is what everyone in the community calls Space Vietnam. So yesterday was my first day off this week. I got on TikTok first thing in the morning and saw that Melvalon Creek had fallen. So me and some of my friends quickly jumped on to try to recover that planet. And so far we have not been very successful. But what's exciting for me is that they're not rushing this out. This is the first time in like 15 years that there's not going to be a Pokemon game releasing on like a major console in this year, in a year period. So I'm hoping it's going to be really polished.
Was there anything else? I know they announced the Pokemon Pizza game, and then I also saw that they're going to change the backs of the cards to reflect how Pokeballs really open.
Oh yeah, so the main other takeaways from that was that they're doing a new mobile Pokemon trading card game.
Oh yeah, that does look pretty cool.
Which every day you get to open 2 packs of cards for free. I'm sure they're going to monetize it where you can open more.
Yeah.
I don't recommend anyone do that because it's no different than buying an NFT at that point, which is there's no monetary value to be gained from it. But what's cool to me is that as someone who collects Pokemon cards, not to the extent that some people do, but I do collect them. You know, they've got like the full art cards that you can get, which are super rare. And in the game, those full art cards, you can actually kind of like go into like the picture and see more of it, which I think to me is very cool. Like the picture they showed was like a very like I'm trying to think of the best way. Like I don't know what kind of art style it'd be. It's like a painting, I guess, of Pikachu on the card, but like it shows the camera going into the card, and then the mural is so much bigger with all these other different Pokemon in that same art style. It's very cool. Again, it would not pay money to do any of this. But if I did happen to pull one of these cards, it's just something cool you can show off. Now, if there's some way that they go ahead.
I was gonna say I actually really enjoy playing the card game.
I do too.
Yeah, you can duel in the card game too, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So there is a simplified version of the TCG like battling mechanics built into the game too. So if you did pull enough cards to have like your own deck of cards, you could play them. This is a deep cut for anyone who is familiar with the Yu-Gi-Oh card game, but they released a mobile version called Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, which is a simplified version of the main trading card game, which is just for people who are trying to get into it and just more, again, to simplify it. And this is kind of like their version of Duel Links, essentially, as far as like the battling mechanics go. But it looks cool. But again, it's not something I would recommend spending money on. And then
that sounds good stuff.
The big one for me as an avid Pokemon Go player is, sorry, Jason, to rip your Pokemon Go account. I also play Pokemon Sleep. Well, I guess I don't really play Pokemon Sleep. I just use Pokemon Sleep. And recently I bought the little Pokemon Go Plus accessory that works in Pokemon Go and in Pokemon Sleep because I don't like keeping my phone in the bed with me while I'm sleeping. And I don't think it got announced, but they're supposedly working on incorporating Pokemon Sleep into the Pokemon Home app so you could transfer your Pokemon into like the main Switch titles and stuff like that, or I guess going into Switch too, which is something I'm really excited for because I have shiny Pokemon from Pokemon Sleep, and so getting those off of that game into a more useful situation just sounds very fun to me. But yeah, big Pokemon fan. That's why I have a Nintendo channel.